fucking cool. You know, she really like took care and she enjoyed like what I was writing, which is my book called Who Would Have Thought, the Survivor with PTSD Story. We sold around, 1,080 something copies so far, and it's been a thrill. But at the same time though, you gotta keep the tabs on, you know what I mean? You gotta understand where you want to achieve. The challenge with my book, and it can be your book too, is my book doesn't have a category. My book is literary fiction. My book is called Who Would Have Thought, the Server with PTSD Story. So it's about a server. He works in a restaurant and he's developing PTSD from the restaurant, but he doesn't know. He just thinks he's going crazy. That's when he gets introduced to cannabis by his coworkers. Therefore, he starts changing his mind, therefore changing his life, So it's a whole journey, I wrote the modern American myth, the social media area that we're living in. This is very important. I feel like nobody's really reporting that in a storytelling way, Like all the characters that you meet in my book is gonna be, archetypes of the modern world, like a server, for example. There's a character named Taylor in the book. She wants to be an influencer and she has an OnlyFans, she's doing TikTok and she wants to go viral. So it's not a main character, but she's one of the, she trains the main character when she gets hired, when he gets hired in this nightclub, and they go a lot together. Also, it's a fun book. I think like if you work in restaurants, it's gonna hit you really hard, and then if you work in the military too, there's a military character called Frank, that makes every veteran relates to it. Everybody comes up to me. This is my biggest moment. The moment that I'm the happiest is when I get like all these people coming up and be like, yo, thank you very much, I feel seen, So this is what you should look for when you're writing. So yes, think about this. If you're willing to go on the journey is gonna be rewarding, I just have like, to keep my book sales up, I do have to work a lot. Like I gotta do stand-up, comedy shows. I gotta do, podcasts and all that to see if the numbers keep pumping. You know what I mean? Because there's nobody really looking for anything related to my book on Amazon, right? Like people go to fantasies, people go to horror, people go to sexual shit, and yeah, once they know about my book, they want to buy it, but a lot of people don't know. That's the issue. If you publish with a fucking company, they might take care of that, but I think you can do that. If you're really willing, you can do it. Once you get the editing done, now you're gonna format the book. So you're gonna go again to Fiverr. You're gonna get a formatter. Somebody's gonna know what's the Amazon, requirements, and he's gonna get that for you. And then also at the same time, you're gonna go look for someone to do the cover. All